Today I'm setting up a fire-belly toad paradise. If you are new to my channel, welcome in. I'm planning to breed these guys and start a fire-belly toad army. But right now they need a house. So let's go ahead and build it. First off, we need a good sized tank because we do have 7 fire-belly toads. We're gonna be using this Exoterra tank. It's great because we will have to have water and this tank allows that. After that, we need some dirt. But I bet you're like, whoa, dirt and water, that's gonna be a mess. Yes, but it's not dirt, it's sand. Gotcha. Specifically 50 pounds of play sand. Now, I do have to wash the sand. You're probably wondering, how do you wash sand? Well, it's really simple. I just put it in a bucket and just ran it through some water until it eventually cleared up. I'll have video links down below showing my process on that if you want to do it yourself. But if you look here, this was before and this was 30 minutes later. Look at that clean water. But before we add the sand to the tank, I'm adding a water filter. Specifically this Tetra reptile filter. You can buy it at Walmart, it's like $15. It's one of the best and my absolute favorite frog filters. I have even used this for tadpoles, that's how much I trust it. And we're gonna be adding it to the back corner of this tank. Then I'm gonna cover it with some rocks, stacking them up to the top of the filter. Now this part is very important. You need to make sure the rocks are stable. I stack them and then see if I could wiggle them or move them and put pressure on them. I do this so that way I know it's not gonna fall when the frogs get into the tank. You don't want them to fall and crush your babies. Now we add the sand. Now I don't add like an inch of sand, I just add enough sand to cover the bottom of the tank. I don't do it very deep, I just do it enough so that way it has like a sandy bottom look to it. I don't have any measurements of the sand, I usually just go by feeling, and this is the amount of sand I felt for this build. But now that the sand is finally done, it's time to add my favorite part, decorations. For this, I'm using some Zoomed Mopani wood. You can find this at any PetSmart or local pet store. You can even buy it on Amazon. I'll have that down in the comments. It is kind of an expensive wood, but my God, look at it. It's beautiful. I can't help but pay the premium price for that nice cut of wood. I mean, it's looking good. Now I did use a couple of pieces for this. The size is different, but I used the medium, some smalls, and large Mopani wood. And I think it's looking fantastic. We're gonna add one more thing to make this thing pop, and that is some greens. Specifically, the almighty pothos. I always throw this plant into any of my frog tanks because not only will it survive anything, if you throw it in water, it then becomes a water plant. It's an absolute brick house of a plant, and in the water, it will eventually help filter the water a tiny bit as well. Speaking of water, it is time to add the water. For this tank, I only used about 7 gallons of water. However, it is very important to treat the water. I did this by filling up 5-gallon buckets. I got the buckets at Home Depot, and I used some AquaSafe to treat the water for chlorine, since I am using tap water. I also let the water sit out for like 30 minutes to really mix with the AquaSafe. You can also use ReptiSafe as well. Once that was done, we add the water to the tank. Now, if you washed your sand right, when you add the water, it's gonna look crystal clear like this right here. But there is something I must tell you, and it's very important. If you've never worked with Mopani wood, you'll be surprised when the water goes from beautiful, crystal clear water from a glacier in Alaska. I tried to do my best Adam Sandler there, but you'll be surprised when it goes from the crystal clear water to dookie stain brown. You may wonder what's going on, but that's the tannins from the wood leaching into the water. Basically, the wood is dyeing the water brown. Now this is pretty natural to many frogs. You may see tadpoles in this brown dookie stained water in the wild. However, in captivity, if it gets crazy dark brown, I do change the water until it's a light brown, like this right here. After making this video over the course of 2 weeks, I changed the water twice and it finally slowed down and is a nice light brown right now, not too crazy. Speaking of water, did you know that 1 in 10 people on Earth don't have access to clean drinking water? I mean, what do you do without clean water? You can't brush your teeth, you can't take a shower, you can't even fill up a glass to quench your thirst. That is why I'm joining Mr. Beast and Mark Rober on Team Water. We need your help to raise money to bring clean water to 2 million people by partnering with local communities across 6 continents to build solutions and open up life-saving water access. And you could be a part of the team as well. Go to teamwater.org, or I have a link down in the description. You can click on that. $1 gives water to one person for a year. $20 will give them water for decades. Next up is lighting. People ask me all the time, do I use UVB for my frogs? And the answer is yes. I use the Arcadia Shade Dweller 7%. You can even use the Arboreal kind, but I make sure it's on the land portion, so that way when they jump up on land, they get a tiny amount of UVB. That's really important. You don't want them exposed to high amounts of UVB, just small, weak amounts. And for the plants, I use a grow light, like this T5 Barina light, which I got on Amazon. Now we can finally add our frog army. To be honest, they were a little reluctant to jump right in. I had to kind of push them in there, but when they were in there, they went crazy. And if you're unfamiliar with my channel, these specific frogs I've been looking for years. They were once everywhere in the hobby and then they disappeared. It was a very long journey until I found some, and I didn't even find frogs, I found tadpoles. And I had to raise them up into these frogs you see right here. If you want to check that video out, I have that linked in the description as well. But finally, we are done with this frog paradise. And I think for a really quick basic setup, it looks amazing, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Tell me in the comments if you think it's pretty good or if it's bad, be honest. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.